Brazil fans are begging for Neymar to be selected, but let's be honest, is he still good enough? Last time I checked, he was closer to the bench than to carrying Brazil to another World Cup. And that question alone might decide Brazil's entire tournament. Because when people talk about Brazil, they always start with the same thing, the history: 5 World Cups, more than any other nation. The yellow shirt, the legends, the expectation that Brazil should be competing for the trophy every single time the tournament comes around. But history doesn't win football matches, players do. And when I look at this Brazil team heading into the 2026 World Cup, I see one of the most talented squads in the entire competition. Vinicius Junior is one of the best attackers in world football. Rodrygo can create chances out of absolutely nothing. Raphinha is playing some of the best football of his career. Bruno Guimaraes controls the midfield. Gabriel Magalhaes brings strength and leadership at the back, and Alisson remains one of the safest goalkeepers on the planet. On paper, Brazil can compete with anyone, whether we're talking about France, Spain, England or Argentina. The talent is there, the quality is there, and nobody can say this squad lacks world-class players. What's even more interesting is that for the first time in years, Brazil don't seem completely dependent on Neymar, because for more than a decade everything revolved around him, every attack, every big moment, every free kick, every expectation. But now this team looks more balanced, more complete, and far less reliant on one single superstar. Vinicius has a bad game, Rodrygo can step up. If one attacker struggles, somebody else can take responsibility, and that's something Brazil haven't always had in previous tournaments. Another factor that could help them is the location of the World Cup itself, because playing in North America feels far more comfortable for South American teams than playing in Europe or Asia. The climate is familiar, the atmosphere is different, and even though it doesn't guarantee success, every small advantage matters when you're trying to win the biggest tournament in football. And then there's something Brazil always seem to produce, no matter what generation we're talking about: new talent, because every World Cup there's always one player who suddenly explodes onto the global stage and becomes one of the stories of the tournament. And if history tells us anything, it's that Brazil are probably hiding another star that the rest of the world hasn't fully noticed yet. So yes, there are plenty of reasons to believe this team can go all the way, but there are also reasons to doubt them. The biggest one is simple: Brazil haven't won the World Cup since 2002, that's 24 years without a title. An entire generation of football fans has grown up without seeing Brazil lift the trophy. And for a nation with Brazil's history, that's a very long time. Every tournament that passes without success adds more pressure, more expectations, and more criticism, and eventually that pressure becomes a problem of its own. But if there's one thing that worries me more than the drought itself, it's Brazil's record against elite European teams. Because whenever Brazil face a top European side in the knockout rounds, something seems to go wrong. France eliminated them in 2006, the Netherlands eliminated them in 2010, Germany destroyed them in 2014, Belgium knocked them out in 2018, and Croatia ended their dream in 2022. Different squads, different managers, different generations, yet somehow the result always feels the same. Whenever Brazil face a top European side, something goes wrong. At this point, it's not bad luck anymore, it's a pattern, and until Brazil prove they can beat Europe's best when it matters most, people will continue asking questions about whether they truly belong among the favorites. Another issue is that sometimes Brazil look more like a collection of stars than a complete team, because talent alone isn't enough to win a World Cup. We've seen plenty of talented teams fail before. What separates champions from contenders is chemistry, discipline, organization, and the ability to suffer together when things get difficult. And then we arrive back at Neymar, because no matter how much this team has evolved, no conversation about Brazil is complete without mentioning him. Is he still the leader of this team? Is he a starter? Is he a substitute? Can he stay healthy throughout an entire tournament? Can he still decide matches against the best teams in the world? Nobody doubts what Neymar was, the question is what Neymar is today. Football moves fast, players get older, injuries take their toll, and reputations don't win World Cups. If Neymar goes to the tournament, he has to earn his place through performances, not memories, because Brazil can afford to make decisions based on nostalgia when the goal is to end a 24-year wait for the biggest trophy in football. So can Brazil break the 24-year World Cup curse? Absolutely. They have the talent, they have the depth, they have the experience, and they have enough quality to beat any team in the world on the right day. But can they finally overcome the problems that have followed them for more than 2 decades? Can they beat Europe's best when everything is on the line? Can they turn a squad full of stars into a true championship team? And can they finally deliver under the enormous pressure that comes with wearing that famous yellow shirt? That's where my doubts begin, because Brazil have given us reasons to believe before, and they've also given us reasons to doubt. This team has everything needed to win the World Cup, everything except proof. And until they show they can overcome the ghosts of 2006, 2010, 2014, 2018 and 2022, I can call them the favorites. Can Brazil win the 2026 World Cup? Yes. Today, I'm still not convinced.